If you've ever chopped a fresh carrot and watched your dog wait for a piece like a Michelin star meal, you know the appeal. Commercial dog treats are expensive. Trading highly processed fillers for nutrient-dense whole foods directly from your fridge makes sense for your wallet and their health. But then you go online. One post tells you blueberries will extend a dog's life, and the next warns that a single grape will cause immediate organ failure. It leaves most of us paralyzed, wondering what is actually safe and what is a dangerous mistake. We aren't going to just read off a list of random foods today. We're going to calculate the true return on investment of feeding your dog human food, categorizing exactly what offers high-yield nutrition, what's a high-maintenance trap, and what carries a zero-tolerance risk. Safely feeding your dog human food is not a game of roulette. It requires understanding a stark divergence in how our bodies process chemicals. This table compares human and canine metabolism, looking at the onion. For humans, it's a harmless flavor enhancer. But for a dog, onions contain thiosulfates. Their metabolism cannot break these down, aggressively destroying red blood cells and leading to severe anemia. Next, consider raw, unbaked yeast dough. Sitting on the counter, it looks completely inert. But a dog's warm, moist stomach acts as a biological incubator. The raw dough rapidly expands to block their digestive tract, while fermenting yeast produces toxic ethanol. Because a dog's biology operates on completely different rules than ours, the margin for error with certain common household foods is practically non-existent. This chart maps human foods based on preparation effort on the bottom versus health impact or risk on the side. Our first category lands right here in the optimal zone, the high ROI optimizers, like blueberries, carrots, and green beans. These are low-calorie, high-fiber, antioxidant-rich powerhouses that make perfect training rewards without adding bulk to your dog's waistline. To get those benefits, the input is purely physical labor. You just have to commit to buying, washing, chopping, and occasionally peeling the produce. If you're giving them apples or cherries, that prep becomes non-negotiable. You must remove the seeds and pits every single time to avoid cyanide toxicity. For root vegetables like sweet potatoes or proteins like pork, the prep involves heat. They have to be fully cooked to neutralize harmful selenium compounds and dangerous bacteria. Whole produce and lean proteins offer an incredible health return and function as cost-effective training tools, but only if you stick to strict, consistent food preparation protocols. Next, we have highly palatable treats. These act as powerful behavioral incentives, but demand extreme moderation. Looking back at the chart, items like cheese and peanut butter fall right into the high-maintenance zone. They are supreme tools for specific use cases, like successfully hiding medication or keeping a dog's attention. But the biological trade-off is steep. The canine pancreas is extremely sensitive to high fat loads, and many dogs are naturally lactose intolerant. Overfeed them, and you aren't just looking at rapid weight gain. You're risking lactose-induced diarrhea or severe, incredibly painful pancreatitis. This is what sudden biological stress looks like when a dog's digestive system is overwhelmed by rich, fatty foods. Fats and dairy are high-stakes tools. The benefit is purely psychological for the dog, but the physical risk mandates that you measure portions down to the gram. Finally, we reach the non-negotiable category of human foods. These items offer zero nutritional benefit while carrying catastrophic, life-threatening risks. On the chart, grapes, raisins, macadamia nuts, onions, and xylitol plummet straight into the deep red, zero-tolerance zone. With grapes and raisins, even a single one can trigger sudden, rapid kidney failure in certain dogs. Macadamia nut toxicity physically attacks the nervous system, leading to hyperthermia, severe tremors, and an inability to even walk. And xylitol, a common sugar substitute found in gum and some peanut butters, causes massive insulin spikes, hypoglycemia, and acute liver failure. Preventing these emergencies requires active, flawless policing of your household. Secure your baking environments, lock down the spice cabinet, and constantly read labels. It only takes a fraction of a second for an open pantry door or a dropped snack to turn into an emergency room visit. The items on the red list are volatile household hazards, requiring the same vigilance as storing chemical poisons. Feeding your dog human food is a highly effective nutritional strategy, but it is an active, demanding household management choice, not a passive one. This scorecard, the Canine Pantry Protocol, helps evaluate if this strategy actually fits your lifestyle. If reading labels for xylitol, meticulously coring apples, or weighing tiny pieces of cheese sounds exhausting to you, skip it. Stick strictly to commercial dog treats and save yourself the mental overhead. But if you're a health-conscious optimizer willing to put in the prep work, lean heavily into the green list. Carrots, green beans, and blueberries will maximize your dog's health ROI safely. Recognizing your personal tolerance for daily preparation and vigilance is just as important as memorizing which foods are safe. Regardless of whether you feed commercial treats or fresh fridge produce, every household must have a zero-tolerance lockdown protocol for the red list toxins. If an accidental ingestion happens, do not wait for symptoms to appear, and do not try to induce vomiting at home without direct guidance. Call your veterinarian or the pet poison helpline immediately. When you are dealing with dangerous biological toxins, seconds count. Professional medical intervention is your only reliable move. Integrating human food into a dog's diet involves a daily commitment to understanding canine biology, weighing the active ROI, and protecting your pet from catastrophic mistakes. A growing number of pet owners are replacing highly processed commercial dog treats with fresh, whole foods straight from the grocery store. You toss your dog a fresh piece of produce, they catch it midair, and their instinctual joy makes it feel like an easy parenting win. But human and canine metabolisms process chemical compounds differently. Because of this biological gap, a snack that is completely harmless to us can become a lethal hazard for a dog. Human food safety is defined by a spectrum of preparation and dosage. This scorecard outlines the exact trade-offs of moving to an all-natural supplement diet. On the left, you secure green check marks for immunity boosts, hydration, and low calories. On the right, you risk red X's for accidental toxicity, acute pancreatitis, and intestinal blockages. Safely feeding human food requires taking these ingredients and categorizing them into definitive tiers of risk and required effort. Understanding the difference between high yield, the risks of high maintenance, the limits of utility, and completely avoiding toxic foods is how you optimize your dog's health without triggering a medical emergency. The first category is high-yield superfoods. These items offer maximum nutritional benefit with minimal preparation or risk. Raw washed blueberries and baby carrots function as top-tier daily training treats. They deliver high antioxidants and natural dental cleaning, and they contain near-zero fat. Seedless watermelon flesh serves a specific purpose during hot weather. It provides 90. Next is the high-maintenance supplements category. These foods possess strong nutritional profiles, but that reward is gated by mandatory preparation. A whole apple or a handful of cherries carries hidden dangers. Specifically, their seeds, pits, and stems contain cyanide. Updating our framework, the high-maintenance row shows the inputs required to neutralize these threats: coring, deseeding, and cooking. You must invest the time to meticulously core and slice. This strict trade-off unlocks fiber benefits without risking blockages or poisoning. This preparation rule extends from fruits to complex vegetables like sweet potatoes and broccoli. Feeding these vegetables raw carries direct biological consequences. Raw root vegetables block a dog's digestion, and raw broccoli contains isothiocyanates, which cause severe gastric irritation. You must thoroughly steam or bake these vegetables to make their nutrients bioavailable. And you have to do it with absolutely no added spices or butter. The nutritional return on investment for this category is high, but skipping the preparation step turns a healthy supplement into a digestive hazard. The third category is the utility and moderation zone, which includes foods with high palatability but dense caloric profiles. Cheese and peanut butter are the best examples. They are highly effective for hiding medication or functioning as high-value behavioral rewards during training. This is their exact utility function in practice, masking the texture and smell of a pill so a dog swallows it effortlessly. But the biological risks of using these items frequently are severe. You are introducing massive amounts of fat, and many dogs deal with lactose intolerance. Over-relying on these dense foods leads directly to rapid weight gain and acute, life-threatening pancreatitis. While these are invaluable tools, they require strict caloric discipline. They must be utilized only when necessary and never treated as a staple snack. The final category is the critical toxins, where there is a zero tolerance margin for error. In the final row of our evaluation matrix, the consequences are stark red. The trade-off is simple: zero tolerance and an immediate ER visit. Grapes, raisins, and macadamia nuts represent immediate, severe threats. Macadamia nuts cause a rapid onset of neurological tremors, and even a single grape triggers sudden, irreversible kidney failure, regardless of the dog's size. Raw yeast bread dough presents a completely different mechanical threat. When raw dough enters a dog's warm stomach, it rapidly expands and ferments. This traps gas inside the stomach while simultaneously producing ethanol. This creates a dual medical emergency: life-threatening bloat, or GDV, paired with alcohol toxicosis. It requires immediate veterinary gastric lavage to resolve. Sharing table scraps introduces another hidden danger. Seasoned meats containing onions, minced or powdered garlic, or excess salt trigger allium toxicity, which destroys red blood cells and causes severe anemia. For this entire category, there is no wait-and-see protocol. Accidental ingestion mandates an immediate trip to the emergency vet. Before looking at specific ingredients, you have to apply the golden rule of canine dietary supplementation, the 10% caloric limit. Fresh human foods are strictly supplements, not staple diets. The total combination of all treats given in a day should never exceed 10% of your dog's daily caloric intake. This flowchart provides a systematic framework. Node 1 asks, is it on the toxic list? If yes, go to the ER immediately. If no, move to Node 2. Node 2 asks, does it have pits or seeds, or does it require cooking? If yes, prep it thoroughly. If no, you can serve it raw. Finally, Node 3 is the treat calorie check. Does this exceed 10% of their daily diet? That is the final requirement for safe feeding. How you use this protocol depends on your approach. For the optimizer, dedicate meal prep time to blueberries, cooked sweet potatoes, and steamed green beans to maximize nutritional return and support a longer lifespan. For the pragmatist, rely on baby carrots and pre-washed strawberries for low-effort, high-value training, and strictly reserve peanut butter for pill hiding. For the anxious pet parent, simply memorize the critical toxins list: grapes, alliums, xylitol, bread dough, and macadamia nuts, and stick exclusively to plain, unseasoned lean meats to guarantee your peace of mind. Supplementing a dog's diet with human food can provide targeted antioxidants and hydration, provided owners replace guesswork with strict categorization and disciplined preparation.